Hi, I am here to talk about any parents or kids thinking about going on a people to people trip. I have gone on two. I went on one last year to Washington, D.C., which is a really great starter for anybody who wants to get into the program. It's a good way just to start you off. It's only for a week. You get to go around D.C., see a lot of cool things, all the monuments, and basically the staple stuff and most of the Smithsonian museums. And then this summer, I went on a Europe trip to Ireland, Wales, England, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. And what we have this handy dandy travel journal, and you record in it every day what you do. But before you go, you do have to do some homework so you're prepared for the trip, so you know everybody's customs and you don't offend anybody, and you know what to expect over there. So what we had a couple homeworks that we had to do about, you know, a few just news stuff, any other getting to know our people that we're traveling with too. So, and then you also have to go through an interview process just so that they know that you're the right material for this trip. And you have to be, there are certain age groups for you to go with. And then once you get over there, you're gonna get to have your journal and you're gonna record every day what you do, and the leaders will check up on that. They will check. So what I did, we stayed in a bed and breakfast in Ireland our first night in Carrick-Sabine, and then we learned how to play Gaelic football and we cut peat for elderly people, which is like decayed plant and animal material. They burn it for heat over there. And it was really fun when we got to learn some Irish dances from a local group of children. And we also, the next day, we went on a scavenger hunt around the little town of Carrick-Sabine, getting to know it, getting to know the people, so we knew where we were going and about the town we were staying in. Then we went on a horse ride through the mountains of Ireland, well, a horse and buggy ride. And then we took this boat ride on the river to a little castle where we got on our coach bus and then headed off to Dublin. This is over, we were in Carrick-Sabine for about 2 or 3 days. And you do have to get up very early. One day we got up at 5:15 and we ate breakfast on our coach bus, which was not the best, but it was okay because we got to do a bunch of stuff. We started off at the Gaelic Football Association Museum, and we got to like go on see the field, the stadium of Cork Field, and we learned a lot about it. Then we went off to a ferry or Wales, and it was a 3-hour ferry ride, which was really long, but it's okay. Then we saw the longest train station name in the world, and we had a little bit of a Welsh language lesson. Then we went to our full-on experience. This is the part where we sort of like learned we were getting prepared to rappel down a castle wall. And what they did, it was basically a big confidence booster. We had to like break a board. Then the next morning, we went to Penryn Castle and we rappelled down the castle wall. And it was really tall. It was like 100 feet. But it was so fun. And once you finished it, it was like you knew you could accomplish almost anything. And it was a really good confidence booster. Then we went to Warwick Castle and we trained as soldiers. And they had a bunch of random peacocks roaming around, which was pretty cool. And at the end of the day, it was somewhat like it was like dusk, and they fired their big trebuchet with their flaming fireball, which was one of my highlights. And then we went the next day, half the day, we were walking around Warwick Castle, getting to know the castle more. And then we went to London, And the first thing we did while we went there, we went on the London Eye. And that was so amazing. It was huge, but you could see for 30 miles in any direction, which was pretty cool. And then the next day, we got to have like a meeting with a former parliament speaker, Patrick Nichols. And then we went to the Tower of London, which was pretty cool. And then that night we saw Wicked, the musical in London. But sometimes itineraries do vary, so you won't always get to see a play or something. Then the next day, we went on a tour of London. Then we took a ferry to the Isle of Wight, where we trained at UKSA. And UKSA is like a big training place for people with rowing and stuff. So that was our intro day. Then the next day we went keel boating and dinghy boating at UKSA, and all the instructors are really nice and it's fun. Then the next day we went raft building and windsurfing, and windsurfing is actually really easy, but it's a lot of fun. So the next day we went on an overnight ferry to Normandy, and we saw the Normandy World War II Museum, and then we went on Omaha Beach. And our next day we went to Paris. I went to Paris over the 4th of July, and that was a lot of fun. And the first thing we did was we went to the Eiffel Tower, and we went all the way up to the top. We had about 40 people in our delegation, and we shouted Happy 4th of July from the top of the Eiffel Tower, which was pretty cool. Then we went to the Cathédrale de Notre Dame, and we also went to a perfume factory and learned how they make perfume. And the next day we went to the Louvre and we got to see the Mona Lisa. Then we went to Montmartre, which is like there's a really big artist square where all the artists hang out, and then the Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, and that was pretty cool. And then after Paris, we went to the Battle of the Bulge site, which is in Belgium. So we saw the war memorial and we got to know more about the battle. And then we went to Brussels and we got to go around the town and go to a chocolate factory and learn how they make Belgian chocolate, which was really cool. And we also got to try Belgian waffles. And I had a Nutella banana one, and it was really, really good. So anybody who wants to try them, they're extremely good. Then our last couple days, we went to Amsterdam, and we went to the Anne Frank house, and we also went to a clog museum and a cheese museum, and then we saw the Anne Frank house. And it was a really good experience, but the flights were very long since it's over to Europe. I would recommend it to anybody who is really into traveling or anything. It's a really good leadership program, and I hope you like it if you do decide to go on it. And if you've gone on any, or if you are thinking about going on any, post or comment and I can answer any questions, or you can tell me about your trip. So, and if you have gone on any, tell me where you went, because I think this summer I might go to the Galapagos. There are a lot of different trips out there too. So tell me what you think. Bye.